Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today we are working on the drift truck yet again, continuing the project of making it an amazing summer daily, an amazing street car. In today's video, as you can tell, we've got an audio system and we have a speedometer, and we're gonna do a couple other small things, maybe replace the starter. We'll see. This is an AEM speedometer. It's based off of GPS, so it's super easy to install, power, ground, and then you just plug the GPS there. This can output the speed to an ECU, like the ECU that we have in this truck. So if we wanted to, we could hook up some crazy stuff like track mapping, track-based boost by speed, and rolling anti-lag. We probably won't do any of those things because it's a naturally aspirated truck and it doesn't need any of it, but it's a cool feature that we could do. And then the sound system is, that's the thing that I'm really excited for today. We have a basic, Bluetooth single DIN head unit, some basic 4-inch Pioneer speakers, and then we have this pretty basic but pretty awesome subwoofer. The cool thing about this subwoofer, it's like a 10-inch subwoofer, but it's got the amplifier and everything built into this super compact setup. This thing is 5 inches by 12 inches. Super small. This thing maxes out at 20 amps of input power, so you don't have to have a giant cable running to it, and then just ground and signal wires. And it actually booms. It actually sounds really good. I had this in a wagon, which is my daily, and it sounded awesome. So putting it in a single cab truck, which is much smaller, it's gonna be more than enough. And this will fit right behind the seat, which is really cool. And this is really all you need to have a nice sounding sound system in your car. You don't need super expensive speakers. You don't need a super expensive head unit. 2 basic speakers and a subwoofer, in my opinion, it's perfect. The truck never had a head unit in it. When I bought it, there was nothing. There is some wiring there for it. It looks really jank, so I have no idea what to expect. We might have to wire the entire thing in, and we might just be able to plug it in. We'll figure it out, but that's what we're gonna do today. I know, not as cool as fabricating a roll cage and all-wheel drive Miata or doing something like that, but the little things that really make a big difference in an awesome car. All right, let's test some of these wires. Don't really know what does what, but I'm assuming like yellow is constant power, so 12 volts. All right, constant power works. Pins are too small, I can't test the rest, but if it's got power, I'd assume everything else is working. I'm gonna redo it all, because I mean, look at this. Wiring harness, microphone, and head unit. And what are the chances it's the same plug, and I plug it in and it actually just works? Those don't look like the same plug. So, I think very small, but let's try it. Plug is close, but it's not quite. Let's just, let's cut this up more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. As far as I know, I at least got it wired up to power up the head unit and to test this one speaker. And if that works, then we can keep going, Oh, yeah, it might help if I actually put the ground in something. Hey! Okay, powered on. Static! That's good. That's all I need to know. Guys, how proud are you? I got a speaker to play static. So I was wiring it up, obviously, and I was really confused why there were 4 outputs from their old hacked up harness going to supposedly 4 speakers, where there's only 2 speakers in the truck. Earlier today when I had bought these speakers and I looked up what size, the internet webpage said the front speakers were 4-inch and the rear speakers were 4-inch. So everything was telling me that there are rear speakers somewhere inside the truck. So I looked around and I found them, or at least I found where they used to be. In the, I don't know what you would call it, technically the B-pillars. In the B-pillars of this truck, there are cutouts for a 4-inch speaker. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's gotta be for a 4-inch speaker. But it had this little plate on it, this red little plate, so it blended in. It didn't really look like anything. It looked like something that they used to manufacture something. But it is right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. Now there's a harness here. You can see the harness, yeah? And it's the same color as the speaker wire. Well, same base color, different highlighted colors. So it's blue and orange and blue and green. There's no blue and orange and blue and green down there. And the harness doesn't go through where it's supposed to be. So I think one of the previous owners at some point wired up rear speakers and then sold it to someone else and got rid of them before selling it. So I'm going to add them back. We're already doing all this work. We might as well. We've got 2 4-inch speakers that work. The old speakers, they're probably not great. Pyramid 2-way car stereo speaker system. I don't know anything about the speakers, but if they make noise, you might as well add them, right? So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have to add my entire own harness, but it's not a big deal. Just run it around and yeah. Right, so this is the moment of truth. Everything is wired up. It's not in its permanent location, but it's wired up, so we can test it. Plug in the aux. Go ahead and turn that on. Head unit will pop on FM. Oh, it's got power, which means the signal worked, and it's got power and ground. Let's go ahead and switch it over. Aux. No copyright sounds, NCS. Throwback to the gaming vids, guys. Ooh, all the speakers are working, I think. I might have to turn the subwoofer on. I don't think it's working. Ooh. No, okay, no subwoofer. That's all right. Let's, I bet you there's the setting. Okay, it's settings. I don't know how to use this thing, gosh. Hold that. Subwoofer was working, it was just way low. We know it works. It needs some tuning, needs the, for some reason it's really, really quiet even with the settings on the sub maxed out, so obviously the amplifier isn't, or the head unit isn't. I need to turn it up on the head unit, is what I need to say. Yeah. So I went ahead and finished everything yesterday. The head unit is in there nicely, the speakers are in there, and the subwoofer is back there. It sounded awesome on the way home. And then one of the rear speakers, right here, that bad boy right there, started rattling. So I went back to Best Buy and I bought another pair of the little baby 4-inch speakers. So those won't rattle, hopefully. Gonna go ahead and throw those in there, and then I'm going to tune the system. Before we tune the system, there's a PSA I need to say that I should have said way earlier in this video. I am by no means an expert at sound systems. I know how to wire them up, but I don't know what to do in order to make them sound better, don't know what parts, don't know, I don't know any of that crap. I am very much a noob when it comes to sound systems. I'm sure most of you guys, or a lot of you guys watching this video are much more knowledgeable on this topic. I'd love to hear from you audio experts about how to improve sound systems, or just anything that you have to say. We are gonna go ahead and tune the system. pretty much what I like to do, I like to turn up the volume, play some songs, and take as much bass out of the speakers as I can and put it into the subwoofer. Because the speakers are what cause rattles, and rattles are the worst thing when it comes to sound systems. Subwoofer is mounted on the carpet. I put foam around it so it's not rattling against anything. No matter how loud that thing is, it's not gonna rattle. But speakers, plastic dashboard that's, you know, 30 plus years old and all that kind of crap. So the speakers are what rattles. Let's play around with it. I got some no copyright music going. The other thing is that, you know, a lot of songs are very different. So you tune it to one song and then the next song, oh wow, there's way too much bass. So first thing I'm gonna do before we listen to music actually is make the fader back to 0. I turned it up to the front speakers so the rear ones didn't rattle. The speaker size, front size. Front is not a 6.5, 4. I wonder if that's actually gonna change anything. Oh, there we go, okay. It's actually pretty good right now. Nothing's rattling and it sounds pretty balanced. Problem's that this is like dubstep, so it's still pretty melodic, where if I'm listening to like rap, it's gonna be more bassy, but I don't know of any non-copyright rap songs, so I'm gonna play some rap, tune it a little bit more. The one thing I will say is that right now, so there's controls on the amp of the sub, which is awesome, and I can actually reach them from here, but they're maxed out. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn the subwoofer level on this higher. Yeah, see if I turn it all the way up, it's much louder. So I'll turn it up to like 5. So that will make the subwoofer a little bit louder, so I can turn the settings down in here and have more control there. I messed with the settings until it sounds pretty good and there's no rattling, pretty much no matter how much I turn it up. So let's do a little before and after test. So there it is, the new sound system is obviously a huge improvement over the commuter. There's really nothing wrong with the commuter, it's just, you know, it's a Bluetooth speaker. It's not a hardwired audio system. The cool thing is that audio system, 180 bucks. Now that didn't include the price of the sub, but Jared gave me that sub, at least for temporary purposes. So 180 bucks for like a pretty decent sounding sound system. You don't have to sink a lot of money into a sound system for it to sound pretty good. Just simple speakers, amplifier, small subwoofer, boom, you're good. Anyway, let's go ahead and install that new speedometer so we actually know how fast we're going. Earlier today when I was driving to Best Buy, I'm driving and suddenly I see a cop, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how fast I'm going. You know, he's just chilling by the side of the road. No idea how fast I'm going, so I just go super slow. Maybe a little suspicious, but I didn't get pulled over, so that's good. But we are gonna fix it with this bad boy. Obviously, in here on the truck, we have, you know, our little collection of AEM gauges, which looks awesome. I love the look of the orange, and well, those are orange too. So it's just a cool amber lighting everywhere. Now, I thought about adding the speedometer over here, but the problem is that I'm gonna wanna add more gauges, oil pressure, oil temperature, and some other gauges over here, and that's gonna take up most of the room. I also don't wanna have to look over there to see my speedo. So I'm going to be adding it just same style mount, just right in front of the speedometer. Now, why can't I get the speedometer to work? So see, the way the factory speedometer worked, it was attached by a cable to the transmission. The transmission spun the cable, which spun the speedo and told you how fast you're going. The SR20 transmission is electrically driven speedo. So the cable driven speedometer cannot communicate with the electrical sensor in the new transmission. Theoretically, you could hook some 12-volt motor up to the thing and then change the voltage based off how much voltage is coming out of the transmission, something like that. It's just too much work. So we're just gonna add this gauge. couple things to note. It tells you, for me at least, it tells you to put the GPS receiver on top of the dashboard, but in order to do that, you have to drill a huge hole. Didn't want to do that. So it's right below this plastic thing. I think that should be fine, but we will find out. The other thing is that we're in the shop right now, so it might not be able to get it from here. GPS, satellite. Okay, so let's just try pulling it out here. Sat. Right when I turn off the camera, 0 miles an hour, baby. So this thing can do altitude as well. So let's see, altitude. 820, 800, low 800 feet. Not very accurate. And then you can do heading. So I should be like southwest. Oh, I don't know what that means. A good way to test it, I know 2,000 RPMs in 5th gear is 50 miles an hour. As long as it's close to that, then it'll be, you know, that's good. It's the worst lighting possible. I can't see anything. 4, 5, 6. It's working! Woo! That's awesome. And 0. Alright. 2,000 RPMs, 50 miles an hour, boys! It works! It works perfectly. It responds pretty quickly. It doesn't seem laggy. Like when I give it a decent amount of gas, it goes up pretty quickly. That's awesome, dude. That is so cool. Now, did I really need to do this? No, I was doing fine just by following traffic speed, and you know, you can kind of get a gist at how fast you're going if you're used to your car, but it's still nice to have. God, now I really need to just add a sun visor because this is so bad. It's so bad. Or get sunglasses, but sunglasses would not be enough right now. No way. Well, folks, that is it for this video. The drift truck now has a speedometer, which is awesome, and an awesome stereo system. I know these last 2 videos have been a little bit different than all of the videos previous to them, but I hope you guys still enjoyed nonetheless. You know, we didn't do anything crazy. We didn't build an all-drive Miata or do any fabrication stuff, but it was really nice for me to be able to take a break from those long projects and do something that I could start and finish in the same day. It's really rewarding to be able to start a project, finish the project, and enjoy the project all in the same day rather than 4 months, you know. So hope you guys did enjoy. This is not the norm by any means. We're gonna go back to awesome in-depth fabrication and all that kind of crap soon. The truck is pretty much finished as a daily driver. We are gonna have to finish the bed, which will be a fun video and a rewarding video and an in-depth project, but we're not gonna do that until we got some new Duraback for the back, because we're gonna bedline it and make it look awesome. I guess in the next video, we'll finish the interior of the Rally Miata, get the lights working, get the interiors dialed, get the harnesses in there, clear bra the roll cage, fix the roll cage, touch up some paint, and weigh it. So if you wanna see that video and you wanna find out how much the Rally Miata weighs, you can see it right now if you head over to Patreon. Huge thanks to all the support on Patreon. It really helps. And I know I say that every time, but I really do mean it. All the support on there goes directly back into the channel, and it's so helpful. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Just have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Goodbye.